Keep talking about the pool video, but there's another video where Alissa is saying dad's a pervert and he takes the camera. And why does that video still exist?
Dad! Dad! Dad's a pervert.
Sir, give me the camera now.
Like, if he has these contracts saying like sign here to say that like I've never sexually assaulted you, and then she signs them, and then there's a video of her saying dad's a pervert, why does he not delete that video immediately?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. So what happened when the police raided the house is they took all of our home videos. And, you know, afterwards, I asked for them back. It's the only thing left I have of my mom and my sister. I never expected there to be this dynamic, you know, evidence in there, essentially. But that video is just it's a part of a larger video of us camping. But what you guys don't see is that entire camping video, there's some type of weird tension between my father and Alissa. Like, I'm trying to kind of, you know, hang out with Alissa, and he's like, leave her alone. She's really upset right now. She like goes and like starts like jumping rock to rock. Like it's very, very weird. You can tell that there's a lot of tension. And then, you know, it cuts to me. I'm the person filming the video, and I'm just filming.
Like 12 years old or something.
Yeah, something like that. 10 maybe. I was just really young, right? So I'm filming it, and essentially, you know, my dad's like, turn the camera off or whatever. I'm sorry, I forget the exact sequence of events, but Alyssa's like, hey, Sarah, dad's a pervert. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, that's funny, like, whatever. I don't know what's going on. And my dad's like, turn the camera off, press the red button. And then he grabs the camera from me. And I just like laugh and like skip along. But yeah, I mean, I just found that in our home videos, and I remember finding it and like taking a video on my phone and like sending it to my friends. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, you need to put that out there. This is insane. Like, this is a direct statement from Alissa. But, you know, I don't think the police see it that way.
How could they not? I mean, it's directly from the source.
Normal joke or a normal thing you'd ever say. Like, I mean, I got kids. If they ever like said something like that, I'd be like, you don't know what that word means. We have to talk about this. Like, why did you say that? This is, you know, you're confused. I don't know. That his reaction was kind of like, you know, she's saying it and she shouldn't be. And I don't know what the preponderance of evidence is, but to a normal person, these things are all like screaming that he's at least to be investigated and tried, and, you know.
So I have a question. I was watching like a YouTube video about the case, and there was something mentioned about like the Dr. Dolittle tape. Are you familiar with that? What's the deal with that? Because like it was like a tape that existed, but it wasn't like, I don't think that you've seen it, but someone saw it. There was a sketchy source. So like your father was trying to say that he wasn't credible.
Yeah. And to be fair, I didn't believe it at first either until I talked to this person. But essentially, there was a cousin that lived with me, my father, and Alissa in the late 90s. My father called him and said, you know, Alyssa's out of control. I just need some help. You want to come live with us for a little bit? You can get back on your feet, that type of thing. This guy he was an alcoholic. I didn't really go much further than that. But essentially, this guy, you know, it's our cousin. He gets home from work. He got Filiberto's or whatever. He goes to the couch and he wants to pop in a video. And, you know, my dad was one of those dads who recorded everything off TV onto VHS tapes to save money or whatever. So he pops in Dr. Dolittle, and it's not Dr. Dolittle. It is a video of a girl that he believes to be Alissa on our couch, laying horizontally, naked from the waist up with just shorts on, and there's a newspaper over her face, and it's eerily quiet. And that happens for, you know, I don't know how long. And then it cuts to another girl who he believes was Alyssa's friend in the same scenario, naked from the waist up, just shorts on, with a newspaper over her face. And I didn't believe it at first until I talked to this man and saw how regretful he was. And on top of that, he reported this to our aunt and to our grandma, who essentially just said, yeah, we kind of know. Essentially, there's probably other tapes. Like they just were aware of it, didn't do anything, didn't report it. And our uncle was like, I can't believe he only told you about the one tape. It was my understanding that there were more. So Yeah, so family sources do confirm that this cousin at least called and told people about it. This cousin also, the moment he saw the video, took out the tape, put it on top of the machine, packed his shit, left, and never came back and never talked to our dad again.
I don't know what to say. Are we saying that this was like when is this, like after the disappearance? Is this like footage of her body? Is this footage of her asleep? We don't know. It's just a girl naked with a newspaper over her face. That's the most creepy shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, so it was before she went missing. And there's a few elements to this, right? So our brothers can actually confirm that they found a similar video that was marked something else that contained a sex tape with one of our, a consensual sex tape with one of our father's ex-girlfriends. So there's that element to it as well. But yeah, it's pretty damning, the evidence. And
the girl believed to be Alissa is not saying anything. Is she moving? Is there...
No, she's just laying there still. And, our father actually used to give us prescription medication quite often. So I don't see that, being out of the realm of possibility in terms of these girls being drugged and literally just laying there.
Right.
Was there ever any like child protective services, just not from murder or disappearance, but just things like that, drugs and filming and, or was it all just kind of, in-house, don't ask, don't tell, behind closed doors type shit?
Yeah, I mean, the cousin just told other family members. He went to, our grandmother and our aunt, and they didn't do anything. And I think he was too afraid to report it. It's one of his biggest regrets, he says, of course. Yeah. There's so much that isn't drama that really, solidifies this case. Like, Alissa literally told a teacher that my father was dating when she was 9 years old. She went up to this woman and said, "I'm having sex with my dad." Like, there's such a backstory to this. Our father was a deputy sheriff for Maricopa County from 1970 to 1974. And he resigned shortly after, he attempted to tamper with the crime scene of an attempted homicide that his brother committed against his wife. Like, there's just so much to this backstory.
Your father's brother committed murder, and he was on the case?
It was attempted murder, and the Phoenix police have determined in their police reports that our father tampered with the scene while he was a police officer. He put bullets in his pocket. He possibly tried to put a knife in this woman's hand who was shot to make it look like self-defense. So there's a long history of him kind of engaging in this, criminal behavior, as well as a very long history of him sexually abusing people that were close to him, especially in the family, like his first wife's sister, my mom's sister, and, lots of things going forward.
And this is what the police in Phoenix are saying. It's all hearsay. It's all just stories, but we don't have any proof. So if you said you had something like 25 people or whatever have said, I've heard these stories. You have other people who have been harassed, molested, harmed, whatever, but that's just not enough in their eyes to move forward on anything?
That's what they say. I mean, in that meeting in 2019, they say, we don't have any allegations. And I'm like, hello, your department released these allegations to ABC 2020 and they aired for all of America to see in 2009. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Mm. So that's when I say that they're lying to me. That's what I mean, is literally you thing on ABC 2020, including that, Alissa told people things that were very graphic, very detailed things. And then they turn around to me and say, no, that didn't happen. They, in that ABC interview, say, we want to look in Desert Center, California for Alissa's body. And then they tell me there's nowhere we can look for Alissa's body. So yeah, I would say that that's lying. Why are you telling ABC News one thing and telling me something completely different?
Speaking of the body, wasn't there something, I can't remember what it was, but there's something about coordinates that were linked to your father, where it was like they found bones where the coordinates were, something like that?
So there's two sides to that. So I found a map with a lot of locations in California circled, and they happen to be in the middle of the desert.
Just like in your house was, like in his stuff?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Like you found this map like in your house amongst your dad's belongings, or like what?
Yeah, I found it in a box full of stuff that I had transferred from his house. You know, I'm just like cleaning out my house and I find it and I freak out. And unfortunately, I don't make a copy or anything. I just give it to police. And nothing came of it. Because at this point, I'm just trusting the police. You know what I mean? I have no reason to not trust the police. I just hand it over. I don't want it. I'm not qualified. But unfortunately, those spots were never looked. But, there was also this element of them finding these bones. Apparently, some hiker came across bones near where my father says 2 assassins killed Alissa. Again, a huge backstory. But those bones were tested. They believe that they might be male and older than, Alissa. So it's very unlikely that those bones are Alyssa's. But they are something that I've fought to be retested, and they will not.
Do you think that was like that's someone else he killed, or someone, like if you have coordinates and you circle a spot on a map and there are bones there, I feel like that just speaks to maybe not Alissa, but some other sort of fucking weird behavior.
He was blaming that union, and then that union was the place that he was trying to bomb with the pipe bombs.
Correct. So I don't believe that they found the bones exactly where the coordinates were. Okay. And, my dad says that he killed these 2 assassins, but they, and you guys talked about it. They looked into it, and those guys did die from natural causes long before Alissa was gone. They were real people. But my father was also found with a social security card with one of those guys' names on it when they came and raided the house. Like it's weird, right? Because you think it's such a crazy, outlandish story, and then you find something like that, and it's just so weird. I don't know how else to say it.
Whenever there's a new piece of evidence, whenever there's a new whatever, please, keep in touch and send it over, because we'd love to help as much as we can.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to find a neighbor. Alissa supposedly ran to this neighbor after being my father attempting to sexually assault Alissa. She runs to this neighbor and begs him for help, and the police have never been able to find him. So I think that's going to be my next call to action in terms of social media, because I think if we find that guy, that could be extremely helpful. So yeah, you will definitely hear from me, and I appreciate you guys for having me on, because it's a huge help. You are now a part of the fight for Alissa, so thank you.
Absolutely, man.
Love that.